Hello, guys. Good afternoon. I wish I can sing, but I can't. So, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here today, or at least thank you for still being here today. All right. So, today I'd like to share with you a deeply personal journey that I have. And my name is technically Dr. Suraya, but I prefer to be named as Suraya because it makes me feel closer without the title. Right? It makes me feel closer to you. And I am an NLP master practitioner with over 15 years of experience in education. I've been invited to speak about breaking the mold, and I think it's time we shed some light on mental health challenges. When I was 6, I was diagnosed with ADHD. That is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. And that was during 1990, where when you say about ADHD, not many people know about it. And they will say, are you sick? Do you need medication? Are you well? And stuff like that. So it is actually a very important moment in my life because it marks the beginning of my extraordinary journey. Okay. I have faced numerous obstacles in life, but little did I know that these obstacles are shaping me into the person that I am today. Okay. Now, mental health challenges, I can say, is a topic that affects us all. Okay. So I believe that we should actually break the stigma about what is mental health challenge. Because mental health challenges are always associated with weaknesses and inadequacy. But the truth is, it can also be your source of strength and your source of resilience. Now, how many of you feel that you should be diagnosed with something when you were young? How many of you feel that you are actually a little different from everyone else but not diagnosed? And you live your whole life feeling that something is just wrong with you. Has anyone feel like that before? Yeah? I do see some hands, right? Doesn't matter whether you are diagnosed or you're not diagnosed, you are all individuals. And it is time that we embrace our individuality. And that is what I am going to share with you today. Now, the reason why I want to share with you is because I want to offer some insights. Okay, and how we can actually be more supportive towards each other. How can we foster empathy with each other? Now, we have to shatter these stereotypes talking about, oh, mental health, it is a bad thing. No, it isn't. All right. Now, I'd like to share with you, bring you back to my childhood, how it was first when I was diagnosed with ADHD. It was in Kota Kinabalu, Sabah, which is my hometown. And there is this hotel there called Hyatt Kota Kinabalu. All right? And in front of the lobby, just about 6 feet away, there is this fountain. And there are koi fish inside. And that really beautiful fountain. So my late dad was walking with me towards the lobby. We are about to go home. And his car was parked just opposite the fountain. And it was drizzling. So he told me, stay here. So he said, stay here, don't go anywhere. The bellboy here, watching over you. I'm just going to go get the car, drive over here. You stay. And I was like, okay. Then my dad turned around and said, remember, don't go anywhere. I said, okay. Okay? So he took the car, drove over, and then he saw I wasn't there. My dad went frantic. So he asked the bellboy, where's my daughter? And the guy was saying, oh, she was just here a minute ago. And my dad was saying that, yeah, a minute ago. But she's not here, obviously. So what happened was they ran around the hotel looking for me, thinking that I probably went back to the hotel for the aircon. So they went inside, they looked for me, right? And beside Hyatt Kota Kinabalu is this little mall called Wisma Merdeka. So my dad even ran there, calling me, but, small feet, 6 years old, there's no way I could run into the mall that fast. So he came back, and then as he came back, I tucked on his shirt behind. Hey, Dad, why are you running around? And I was dripping wet. And my dad was saying, where did you go? I didn't go anywhere, I was here. No, you were not. I just came here. I was here with the fish in the fountain, in the pond. Okay? And my dad was saying, I told you not to go anywhere. I said, I technically didn't go anywhere. I'm here. You didn't say I cannot go into the pond. You didn't say I cannot go swim with the fish. You said, stay here. So, something is really wrong at first. So I got an earful from my dad all the way back home. Okay. But how I answered was, Dad, do you know that fish don't need to go get air? You know? They can just swim around. Why can't we do that? You know? I started to be very curious. And back then in the 1980s, right, when kids start to question a lot, what do the parents do? Shut up. Don't question so much. Right? You learn that in school. Right. So basically, it's just the mentality of the 1980s. Right. And there were no Google to question back then as well. I can't search for answers back then. So never mind, that's one episode. But as a 6 years old, I was full of energy. I was so full of curiosity. And it didn't take long for my teachers to also realize my restlessness. And that was what led them to tell my parents to go get me diagnosed. And they diagnosed me with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, where I don't have much attention and I'm very, very much hyper. So, another thing, I do not know whether this is a mistake or whether this is something that they should have done, or maybe this is in my best interest at that time. When I was being diagnosed with ADHD, my parents didn't tell me until I was 14. So imagine going to school, being labeled as disruptive, lazy, loud, noisy, naughty. There was one episode that my mom stopped taking me to relatives' house because saying that I will just break something. And it was really, really hurtful. Okay? So when I was 14, when I found out that I actually have ADHD, and it showed me the medical reports and all, and I said, why didn't you tell me earlier? This all makes sense now. Right? And my mom was saying that because we do not want you to believe that you are ill. We do not want you to know that you are sick and that you are different, and we do not want anything different or you to be treated differently than any other kids. I'll say that. Okay. So, another thing is, when I come to think about it, ADHD has its own challenges on me. But it is also my strength of resilience. It helped me think from different perspectives. It helped me be more creative than any other kids. And it helps me to be more resilient towards the face of adversity. Now let me tell you something during school times. So I have this geography lesson where my teacher said, okay, everybody go into a group of 6. Right, I would like you guys to measure or calculate or see how many populations in this area. I want you to draw a map of this housing area. I want you to do all this geography stuff. So all the other groups were sitting together thinking about plans. Oh, let's go on Saturday, walk around the neighborhood. Let's calculate how big this area is. Let's draw how many houses here is. But my group was like, as they were talking, I was just sitting behind. And I was just saying that, guys, we don't have to do like everyone else. Why don't you just go to the city council office? I'm sure they have a map, right? Work smart. Why work hard? And at that time, all my other friends was like, yo, we didn't think about that. Go to the city council, right? Get the maps, copy the maps, trace the maps, send it to school. Technically, it wasn't plagiarism because we drew it. We didn't make copies of it. Do you agree? So that is how I use my ADHD, right, to think creatively and to find solution in a better way. So, how many of you here feels that, oh, ADHD is actually a very unique thing now? Anyone? It is, yes. Now, I like to talk to you about how I embrace individuality. So now I found out that I'm 14. I'm already 14. I found out I have ADHD. So do I cry? Did I cry? No, I didn't. All right. So what I did was, okay, I embraced my individuality. Before I was 14, I was struggling to fit in. I was struggling to be understood. I want people to understand me. Why can't you understand me? And sometimes I don't understand, why did I think so differently than others? People don't like making friends with me because people my age feel that she's an old soul. We cannot make friends with her. And the older one don't want to make friends with me because they say that you're too young. So where do I stand? All right? And to make things worse, and not really worse, I will say it's a privilege that all the doctors were telling my parents, give her some calming medication, put her under medication. She has ADHD. She needs to be medicated, okay, to calm her so that she becomes less disruptive in class, stop disturbing people. Now, guys, I know this is something wrong to do, but I just cannot help it. You know, one thing about ADHD is you know it is not something that you have to do, but you keep on doing it. I know that I'm not supposed to stand up from my seat when a teacher is talking and go and poke someone else, but somehow I just want to do it. I just feel like, you know, I saw somebody with a little hair coming out. I just have that temptation to go, get up from my seat, go there, just to pull that little hair and run back to my seat. Yeah, that's ADHD. And the doctor said, I have too much energy. So what my dad did was, no medication for my daughter. I'm not going to drug her. I'm not going to medicate her. Instead, you said she has a lot of energy. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put her in swimming classes, ballet classes, music classes, taekwondo classes, all the classes until she finally lost all her energy, go home and sleep. It works. But does the ADHD go away? No. As I grow older and fatter and heavier, I cannot be as active as I was physically, but now my mind becomes too active. To the extent that there are so many things that I want to do all at once, but I cannot finish any of it. All right? So that is really painful. One of the examples you can see, before this talk, I wanted to do a slideshow. I was thinking about putting my pictures there. I was thinking about putting some videos, or maybe something, maybe sing some song, or learn how to sing a song. I can't. Okay? But eventually, what did I end up with? A blank slide. Because I can't finish any of those plans. Okay? So that's one of the reasons. And ADHD seems to be like love to procrastinate. But actually, it's not that we procrastinate. We just like to think more than what other people think. So, let's talk about embracing individuality. Can you imagine if this world, right, is just everyone is the same? It's going to be a very boring world. So I learned that by embracing individuality, mental health challenges does not define you. It shapes you. Right. So, coming back to my story where I feel unfit, like I can't fit anywhere, I feel like really sad. People don't understand me, right? I found solace in writing. So I love writing. So when I was in school, I expressed myself in lines of words. I write poems, I like stories, you know, and I specifically vividly remember my favorite English teacher, Mrs. Wong. So one day I just trepidately gave her a poem that I wrote, and it states how I actually feel inside, despite how I look in front, because, you know, usually when people make fun of me or saying that I'm an old soul or I shouldn't be there, I just laugh. What else to say, right? Laugh, smile, let it go. But I express everything in my writing. And when she read it, she said, you have so much things to share. Right. So she shared it with the school community, and suddenly, from the noisy, disruptive, naughty Suraya, it becomes Suraya with a powerful voice. So how it changed. Now, let's come back to university life, navigating university life with mental health challenges. Okay. The university life can be very overwhelming, especially when you are forced by the society, right, to be a perfect student, be an all-rounder, academically, do sports, join society, do events. How many of you TEDx event organizers here are actually students? See? Is it overwhelming? Is it stressful? Can you focus in your lessons with all this coming around? Well, to me it's fun, but I can't focus, and I failed. Okay? So, it hit me. I finally reached my breaking point. I went to the school counselor, university counselor, and I said, I can't do this. I cannot be successful. I cannot be like a normal student. And you know what my counselor told me? My counselor said, the real success is not what the success the society molds you into, but it's the success of well-being. Able to find success in your own personal growth. And that is basically my title. You embrace your mental health challenges for your own personal growth. And challenge to me is how you grow yourself. Are you improving one part of yourself every day? If you can improve 1% of yourself every day, you are technically better today than yesterday. And you'll be better tomorrow than yourself today. So your real competition is yourself. So that's what my counselor told me. Compete with yourself. So from there, I found ways to take care of myself. I found self-love, take care of well-being, and I break the mold. Who cares what people think about what I can do, all these charity bodies that I'm involved in and everything? It's good to have it, but I should prioritize. And for now, my priority should be my lessons, my A's, my subjects. Because why? That is why I come to university for. All the charity works that I've been doing, I have time for that. I'm doing it right now, after university when I'm working. Okay, so I will always have time for that, but I don't have time to graduate. All right, I cannot take 10 years to graduate. I have to graduate on time. So that's it. So you see, breaking the mold is actually a collective effort. Everybody has to come together and understand what is your actual role. Are you succumbed by the societal norms? Are you actually living because the society wants you to do or be in a certain fold or mold? Or are you actually living your life to how you feel should happen to you? You see? As an NLP master practitioner, I have dealt with a lot of clients who are suicidal, who are depressed, who are sad. And this is the real truth, people. Their problems are actually not their own. It's beyond that. It's the societal stigma that forces them to be stressful. One example, I have one lady who came to me, she's in her 56. She was a single mother, she is still, a single mother of 3 grown-up children, and she came to me and said, I want to remarry. Good, congratulations! My children said, I'm too old for it. Shame on you, mommy. And I was like, what? Yeah. And I talked to some of my friends and said, you're already too old. Your daughter isn't married, Aren't you ashamed? Aren't you ashamed of yourself? You're going to get married before your daughter. So because of that, she's stressful. And I said that, why are you allowing yourself to be stressed by the mold that the society has imposed on you? What makes you happy? Is this guy making you happy? She said, yes. So, break the mold. Be free. Break the barrier. And she's dating the guy right now. They're close to be married end of this year. And she seems very happy. And during movement control, MCO, I have spoken to this one guy who is in the airline industry. He was suicidal. He called me and he was suicidal. And he said he's lost his job. He doesn't know how to pay for his car, his superbike, his house and everything. And I said, simple. I gave him a solution. Okay? Sell this car, move out here, rent out that house, move to a smaller house. And you know what he said? What will the society think of me? What will my neighbors think of me if suddenly I lost one car? What will my siblings say if I suddenly move to a smaller house? Why are we succumbing our mental health to what people think of us? Why do you let yourself suffer just so that people can see you as having growth within the society or the community, not your own personal growth? You know? So you see, have some space, be a catalyst of change. Allow people to have a platform to voice out, a platform for open discussion. Let them share, let them express themselves, and stop being judging. Don't be judgmental, right? Allow them to be free, express themselves, make them be seen, be heard, and be valued, because that is all about us. We are individual. And if we don't start this kind of world, who is? It is all in your hands. How many of you have been judging people based on because they don't do as better as you? Who says so? In what mold are you actually judging them? You see. So as I conclude my talk today, I would like to leave you with one powerful message. Mental health challenges do not define you. It shapes you. Whatever weaknesses or challenge that you are having right now, take it, embrace it, make it a source of empowerment. Use it as a stepping stone for personal growth. And together, you can break whatever barrier, whatever mold that is actually succumbing and exhausting you. Remember, your journey is valid. Your voice matters. Together, we can break free, break the barrier, and break the mold. Thank you.